In treating this topic on constitutionalism and political plurality, looking at a way to prevent the multi-party system of the country tilting towards a one-party state, we will be looking at defections, political defections. You agree with me that that is a huge one when it comes to politicians defecting from party A to party B, and basically what could be the consequence, what could be the constitutional provisions preventing indiscriminate cross-carpeting from one political party to another in Nigeria. And I have with me a legal luminary and a person of Fidelis Ireye. Big thanks for coming, Fidelis.
You're welcome.
All right, let's look at political defections. We seem to have
A very good reason. Without the party not having any crisis, he defected like that, he will lose his seat. Those are the law backing the House of Assembly. But any other person in a political party can defect with a good reason, without anything. With this, you see a lot of people, they are cross-carpeting. Some of the political parties members are also cross-carpeting because they have air in one way and the other, so that the government in power will not chase them with EFCC and others. You see most of them cross-carpeting, which is very wrong. Then weakening the opposition party. And the party in power now became very dominant. This which result to abuse of power in government.
Are you by this saying that political defections could be abused?
Yes, it could be abused. In the ground that if they are, most of them are they are defecting as a result of they have air. Maybe some of them that are in power, when they air in that office, maybe they have partake in one high corruption and the other, they decide to defect to the ruling party so that they will not be chased by anti-corruption. As a result of that, most parties, most members are being defected from that weakening party to the ruling party. Those are the major problems.
Oh, okay.
But in that of House of Assembly, while you are occupying a seat, you defect without a very good reason. That section 68(1)(g) and section 109(1)(g) we cut off with that person.
Okay,
He
so
will lose his seat.
so that also comprises that of the state houses of assembly.
Yes, it's national, not they say in National House of Assembly.
Not you mean it's restricted to the federal?
It's national.
Or it can also
national,
but it also applies to the state houses of assembly.
the state.
They are representatives.
If it is really is in practice,
Because you got the position on the platform of another political party. So if you got that position on the platform of the political party, the onus lies on you to give a very, very credible reason. You know, like issues of political crisis, for instance, in the party, which could make you defect from that party to another. But if then you basically could lose your seat as a representative. So it cuts across both the federal and that of the state.
Our law is there, but it's not in practice. They don't put our law in practice. If you talk, they'll be able to act well. They'll be able to act well.
How do you apply the role of the judiciary in curbing this abuse?
The role of judiciary in curbing the abuse of the creeping to one party system is only for them to be free and fair. When any matter of such arose is brought before them in court. But they are not the one that play the roles, the major role.
Exactly what I mean, you know. Is it not left for those who are aggrieved, those who feel shortchanged, to challenge the case in court? Not necessarily the judiciary doing that, but if you feel aggrieved or shortchanged as a party stakeholder, that a particular representative, you know, of a constituency defected to another party without, following due process, that can be challenged in the court.
I agree. You know, when this is a challenge.
Because you were saying that the laws are not being implemented. So I was saying, in what way can they be implemented if they are not challenged in court?
Unless the person is able to prove his case. Because all these people defecting, they always have their reasons of defecting, of cross-carpeting.
Yeah, we understand that it has to do with, we understand it has to do with if the party is in crisis.
Yes.
You made mention of some representatives, for instance,
yes.
Though you didn't give names,
yes.
you know, that they cross-carpet from one party
to the other,
to another, you know, without due process. But again, if we are to fetch for such reasons that they gave, it could surprise you that they cited reasons of, you know, party crisis. Because, for instance, we've seen the challenges that PDP as a party has been going through. And so we've seen exodus of defection from PDP to the ruling party. In such a case, don't they have credible reasons for defecting?
You see, that is what I said earlier, that most of them they are cross-carpeting for one reason and the other. Some of them who are in PDP, they have exerted a very good position in PDP. Maybe some of them have soiled their hand one way or the other. The next thing is for them to cross-carpet.
That's an assumption.
Yes.
And it's your opinion.
Yes. And upon that, you see that most people, they always have a reason of cross-carpeting. As such, the court cannot do otherwise for them.
Are you saying that we do not have enough laws or provisions that will protect the country's, you know, system from tilting towards a one-party state through monitoring defections in the political landscape?
In the first place,
are you saying we don't have enough laws?
No, yes,
because you may mention the fact that it only applies to those in the National Assembly, for instance. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes. We are still on defections.
Yes.
So what about for those who are not holding positions, who for whatever reasons would just want to jump from one party to the other? Is the law, or are the laws silent? We don't have a law on that can guide against such an unscrupulous act.
Section 14 of the Nigeria Constitutions allow you to jump
from one party to another at will.
Yeah, your interest group.
At will, you can just leave the party.
At will, not leave. You must have reason of leaving the party.
Even if it's not a cogent reason.
You must have a reason.
Yes,
the party.
There will be reasons.
That section
reasons could be they are not, you know, recognized. Yes. Reasons could be they just feel they have a better chance in joining the ruling party because it's the party in power. But are these reasons cogent enough? Because we need to protect our political system from, you know, taking after stomach infrastructure, where everybody just come out and say they want to defer from one party to another just because of survival. How do we guide against it? Because
I believe
this is where the system tilts gradually into a one-party state.
The way you guide against this one-party system, it starts from the INEC. INEC must be able to be proactive. There are areas of elections.
So how does INEC do that without the laws of these factions of the ADC? Because by that, it means they are somehow non-existent, because INEC is not recognizing them. So do you see INEC as playing the role of an electoral umpire, or being not neutral in this matter?
For me, I didn't see them be biased.
You don't see them as biased?
Yes.
In case you're just joining me, the program is Law and You, and we are on constitutionalism and political plurality, preventing the multi-party system we operate in Nigeria from tilting towards a one-party state. And I've been discussing with Fidelis Areyi, a legal practitioner. We'll take a short break, after which we continue on the conversation. Do stay. welcome back. Still with the legal luminary, Fidelis. Thank you for sustaining your presence with me. Now, let's look at this aspect of the judiciary. I remember you said it vividly when you made mention of the fact that the judiciary plays a vital role if we must have it right in terms of the country system not tilting towards a one-party state. Then the judiciary must be independent. Isn't the judiciary independent?
Yeah, partially independent. They are not fully independent because the appointments still come from them.
From the executive?
Executives, yes. The appointments still come from them. The confirmation still come from them. It's only in the fund they are a bit.
Okay, they have some financial autonomy.
Yes, autonomy.
Okay.
That area of bribery and corruption, it cut across the whole board.
Not just the judiciary.
Not only judiciary. Even individual.
Are you saying that to excuse the fact that the judiciary should not be in the eye of the storm to criticize and investigate why and how that can be stopped in the judiciary? I mean, by this, are you trying to defend the judiciary?
No, I'm not trying to defend the judiciary. Judiciary that is corrupt, some are be put to the board. They don't leave them. But what I'm saying that in terms of corruption, it depends on individual, not all the judiciary.
Okay, but how do we tackle corruption in the judiciary?
The only way you can tackle corruption in the judiciary, in the area of political cases, it is only when the judiciary are fully independent, because most of them, at the end of the judgment, at times they work towards the area of the government. You see that it's only those that are very bold, and some of them that are bold, they can find anything to bring against them, like what happened during the time of Buhari period.
All right, let's look at this aspect of voters, for instance, the electorate. Yes. Because it's one thing for us to have it right at the point of making sure that our laws catch up with those who flout the law or who go against it. But again, it's another for us to have our elections right, where voters will come out en masse to participate in the election. Now, do you see what is happening at present in terms of the political landscape and, you know, the opposition versus the ruling party? Do you see this as a way of creating transmission of results at real-time, which is not in the electoral
reform? Electronic voting coming, like the NBA, where I am.
Okay.
The election will come up, is it not this year? It's electronic voting. You can vote in your room.
Okay, but we don't have that just now. So we don't have that just now.
And you can't.
Are you saying in the nearest future?
Yes. If they can introduce that, you see that there will be a free and fair election to an extent. Because you work for NBA, I believe it can work for the country. If they allow it, if they don't sabotage it, as they even sabotage this electronic transmission, because they will say it doesn't work in so place. If we really come together and come on that electronic voting, I believe we will have a good governor.
Okay, let's look at the aspect of protests.
Yes.
Because we've had it recently where those in opposition protested to the National Assembly and, of course, also in the streets of Abuja, you know, over the aspect of not allowing the country to tilt towards a one-party state. How can the government of the day, or how can we posit it from the legal perspective, preventing protests to degenerating into what could be the unexpected?
The only way of that party system, the masses cannot be protesting concerning the one-party system, because in party system, it is not the fault of the government in power, people who run into them. And as such, the law is not against you defecting or joining a dominant political party. The only thing is that if those Nigerians can reform the system by giving room to more political plurality in the country, whereby the also economic barrier will be removed by when all those people that are coming for a political party will not be asked to pay a very huge amount that they will not be able to register.
Okay, but no. But apart from that, before we get there, apart from that, are you saying that public interest protest is prohibited? Because basically we have.
No, it's not prohibited. It's allowed.
Okay, so in what way can it be tailored to improve the political landscape of the country, in terms of not degenerating into a one-party state? Can it be encouraged?
I believe the only way that can be encouraged, it is only when the government in power decided to ensure it's not doing all humanly possible to ensure those party wait with other opposition party coming to their party with one reason and the other. But whereby others are defecting, there's nothing he can do. It's only the government in power that can curb that. It is not the court cannot help on that issue.
Okay, what about
it's already unconstitutional, and the people that are defecting is on their own willingness. They are defecting to the dominant party.
Is public litigation allowed by the provisions of the law? In terms of public interest litigation, is public interest litigation allowed?
In area of creeping into one-party system?
Yes, because some persons may be interested in taking the court, as in taking the government to court, or
if you are, yes, a public interest would be
public interest litigation.
Public interest litigation could be involved in the sense that if you are in that party and you find out that that person is a party waiting in your party and it cross carpet without any reason, you can bring such action against such person.
No, apart from that, what about if such groups are against the government's tendencies in favoring the ruling party against the opposition? Can't public interest litigation come?
Yeah, it's possible.
Okay, but we see situations where the government could want to, coax such groups from seeing the light of the day.
No,
how do we protect that interest?
It's only court that have such a power. Government cannot coerce them. Because litigation, you go to court and file, and the actions goes on. Government cannot be able to coerce anybody. You only coerce them maybe during that protest. Then maybe bribe them through, and the people will concede to whatever, anything, and withdraw their protest.
Okay.
But whereby they are serious, the pressure want to go on, they have a very good reason, because whoever that assert must prove. Then I think the court will hear them very well.
Okay, let's have your final words on what can be done to prevent the country from tilting towards a one-party state. Your final words.
My final word is that the way the party can get towards one-party state.
The way the country mean.
Where the country can get towards one-party state is when people are defecting or cross-carpeting to the dominant parties without reason. It will make them to get towards a one-party state.
That's not only the reason. Coaxing the opposition is another reason.
Yeah, coaxing the opposition is another reason. Then judiciary is another reason. Then economics barriers is another reason.
Okay, judicial independence could tackle that.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Fidelis Areye, for taking out and being part of this. We'll do the same time next week on Law and You. I am Philip Omo Gupon. Bye for now.
ITV, certainly the best. ITV, certainly the best.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me on this week's edition of the program Environment Watch on Independent Television. It's a program specially designed to bring to you all you need to know in the world of environment, the problems, the challenges, the circumstances, and what action can be taken either at the level of government or at the individual level so we can find lasting solution. One of the environmental menaces every time is the challenge of flooding. Sometimes they are man-made, sometimes they are as a result of the nature of the environment where such floods emerge from. In today's program, our focus is going to be on the flood water that is emerging, resurfacing on the Benin-Lagos-Ugbowo Expressway just by SRT Junction. This flood some years ago wasn't there. It came out, and then, of course, efforts was made just to ensure that the water was removed. But in recent times, the flood water is back again. Why is this so? It shows that commuters and motorists plying this Ugbowo-Lagos road, particularly at this section, they're going to have a hectic time navigating through this flood, because most times when it rains and the water is at its full capacity, be rest assured that there's traffic gridlock and all of that. So we'll take a look at why this water has resurfaced here, despite efforts to try to remove it in the past, and what can be done to ensure that the water never returns again. Welcome on board the program Environment Watch on Independent Television. I'm Sonny Duke Okosun. The S&T Barrack section of the Lagos Expressway is about 300 meters between the junction and of course the S&T Barrack, where this flood has become a menace. Now, for 2 years back, this flood emerged. Some efforts were made by government to ensure that the water is, removed from the road. But today, it is back. So what is the circumstances that is responsible for why this flood water is back? We'll find out in today's edition of the program Environment Watch on Independent Television. And when you look at this question, why a lot of traffic buildup occurs in this place is because of the flood water. People just want to be sure that they can pass through this flood. And most people, when the flood is come, what you have is that at the end of the day, if you look at this right here, you can see the level the water gets up to this point. The water gets to this point when it goes to the up. And for vehicles like this truck that you're seeing, yes, you can bulldoze its way up through because it's high. But for smaller vehicles that don't have that capacity, the rest are sure that will be submerged in the flood, and at the end of the day, you have to go to the mechanic. But let's find out from the people here how this problem has been and how they've been surviving just to ensure that they live their life normally, even with this flood being area known as Ayo Idiage Street here at Ewomori, when we have this flood challenge. As you can see, on this stretch of road, there's been an embankment here. This embankment was deliberately created by the community to ensure that the flood water doesn't get into this community. Alright, so this to cut off the flood water. But you see, with this kind of scenario, the water really doesn't have the means to flow into this water because the communities, they have created an embankment with the concrete just to ensure that their vehicles are safe, their houses are safe, and everything here is safe. So you want to ask the question, with this kind of embankment, where will the flood water go to? That's why they say water will always find its level. The water can't get into this community because to this street because apparently there are no drains, and then the community have also the residents of this street, they've carefully ensured that the water can flow into this street, because if it does, that means they can't come out. That means their vehicles will be affected and their houses will be affected. So now you understand why this flood will be a permanent thing here, except something is done by government to address it. The flood problem.
The road, they let us, they pass if it's more in your shower. So even this area, everywhere just full up for water, everywhere go cover. And I think they cause a lot of accidents because if the road don't blow like this, they'll come they pass one way. The other last 2 weeks, they kill a bucky for you. If there's anything they can do, at least to China the water goes somewhere else or to dig something, because the thing really they affect us.
But they dig somewhere for there before where the water there.
They block them. All those soldiers block them.
Oh, soldiers block them?
Yes, they block their own side there. So the water now no get where they go. Now just road here, now the water there.
Okay. So because when the water will fill up here, you now pass here to the barrack side. Yeah. And that place will fill up. Yeah. So because of that, the barrack people now used to complain. They have to come and block it. Okay. So that since they block it now, the water cannot flow to the other side. Okay. So the water will store along the road here. So that's the problem we're having here. So we are begging if the government can come and help us, if they can open the hole back. And what the soldiers are saying now, if government can come and open that place and drain all the sand away so that they have enough space, so that the water will store, or build another one there. Apart that, they will not allow the water to pass through here.
So which means the pond that was created there is filled up because of silt and sand. Yes. So that's why the water cannot have space to enter.
Yes. So when that place now will feed up, the water will go to barrack. Okay. And we fund their fence. So because of that, they said they will no longer allow the water to flow to the barrack again. So they have to come and block it here.
Okay, how is this flood water problem? How is it affecting business here? Because I can see this is a wood market.
It's affecting us so much, because you can see a motor cannot enter through the entrance here. Look at our place. 3 days ago, we bought 2 trips of sand. so that the fence will not fall. Because when there is a lot of erosion here, the vehicle can no longer enter here. So we are just living here by grace. So it's only, you know, you can see that our place now is empty because vehicle cannot enter from the entrance because of the water. So I don't know. We don't know what to do. The only thing we are pleading government, it can do something to help us so that the vehicle can move freely, so that our business, if we come, customers will look into the place and say, let me enter and buy something. But for now, it's only God will help us. That's all I have.
But water, not see me at the dress. Water just spoil my thing. I don't even get house to enter because of erosion. May not help us.
But what because I know some time ago, this water not going to here. They dig hole for that side where water they enter. So what it go happen?
Soldier na I block am. They block am na my papa land na be that one. When they dance, when they bomb me, they marry my mama. They block am. They come block here again. Overnight and they come block am. Soldier. This is S&T. And they block am. They take am block am. Now I make water no go come dey waka again. No na help us o. I no get another house mother that o. My papa my garden for us na don old, no fit waka. My son I don old. Na water.
It's around here.
I get this house.
You get?
This house, my mother and I get and my shop did there.
Okay, what be the problem?
Well, one day we just come early in the morning. We come me say soldier, they cross. Carry tipper of granite, cement, what they call them? They come put them inside the hole when government dig for here. They say the water they dissolve and I then block them. So they cause anybody will open and then they come put soldier, make soldier they guide them if they open them. Since then and I water they enter. Now even this few period now we come the set block like this. If you reach inside my son now here water reach me last year. So this year and I will decide to the block and make you know they enter house again. If you reach house now, you need to come see.
The damage when this thing they cause for here not be small. And so far it has claimed so many lives because some drivers go want to escape this thing. They go to follow one way. Unknowingly to whoever they cross, looking one side, it has taken so many lives. So please, if there's anything the government can do to at least channel the water, make here go down. Not see the way we all they do our own places now. At least make the water not they come cause damages again because the damages is much. That's our plea to the government to do something about it.
So we're still here at the S&T section of the Benin-Ubo-Lagos Expressway, where this flood water has become a huge menace and a problem to inhabitants of this area. And just to ensure that the water doesn't flow into this sawmill and several other businesses here, the owners of this shop have resorted to self-help. And as you can see here, these are strips of sand that was placed here just to create that embankment and prevent the water from flowing into these premises. And this is another strip of sand here by these owners of business here, just to ensure that the water doesn't flow in. And if you look through this stretch, you will see the embankment created with blocks, just to prevent the water from flowing in here. And you know, like we say, water will always find its level. When the flood is heavier than this, be rest assured that the water will spill over into these premises and then frustrate businesses. And then look at this stretch of the road as well. This is an embankment created by the owners of these business premises, particularly the wood place here where they sell wood. And then you have a long stretch of blocks all the way through to that side, just to ensure that they can stop the flow of water into this premises. So the water can't go this way, and so naturally it will come to the road. And when it comes to the road, commuters will be affected, businessmen will be affected, vehicles will be affected, everyone will be affected. So we've got to have a way around finding a permanent solution to this flood water. But let's take some more interviews from some of the business owners or shop owners in this area, how this challenge is affecting them and what government can do to salvage it. Please come along. How often do you ply this road?
Every day.
Okay. What do you make of this flood that has been here? I mean, it wasn't here before. All of a sudden, we are seeing it back here. How is it affecting your business?
It's affecting my business drastically, seriously, to the extent that sometimes they hold up on this because of this water is something else. And if I'm not mistaken, by now this water have started spoiling this road gradually. And government have nothing to do about it. Whereas, in some cases, all this is supposed to be to provide solution to it for further this thing. But now, give this rainy season have not even started. And look at the amount of the water here. So we think the government need to do something, please.
Finding a solution to this flood menace here at this section of the Benin-Ugbo-Lagos Expressway may just be an easy thing to do. And in that regard, some time ago, this pond was created, an artificial pond, I would say, was created here so you can have the water drain from this side of the road into this place. And it worked perfectly well because for a while, we actually didn't see flood water here. And just to let you know into some of the challenges that will come, we can see this vehicle now is stuck here. Vehicle is stuck inside this water, apparently as a result of the impact of the flood water on the engine. But to tackle this problem, an artificial pond was created so that the water can flow from this side into this pond. But what you have here is now, as you can see, the pond is already filled to the brim. You can understand that this is possible because the silt, the sand, plastic bottles, name it, they have filled up the pond. So the water doesn't have anywhere to go. Under this circumstance, what you should expect is what is happening here. The water will naturally flow back to the road and then create more harm, create more problem, like we are saying. We're hoping that government will swing into action and find a permanent solution to the flood water on this axis, particularly now that the momentum of the rainy season is building. And I'm sure that at the peak of the rainy season, this is certainly going to get worse. There has to be a synergy between the community here at Ewomori and the S&T barracks to ensure we find a permanent solution. Many of the people we spoke to today said the channel from that side of the road into the pond has been blocked by the army people in the barrack. And also understand that if it wasn't blocked, like we've seen in the last couple of days, some of the complaints, the barrack is also not safe because we've had instances in the past where water flowed into the barrack and destroyed a lot of things. I mean, everybody wants to protect his own side, protect their property, their vehicles, their assets, and what have you. So we're hoping that government will swing into action.
ITV, certainly the best. ITV, ITV,
ITV, certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
Ugeni Madonna, Imagedion, Overo, Ovesniagbe, Emanazo, or Ugeni Madonna.
You will have to serve the community for 30 years before you come to this stage. They will ordain you ordain title. Then by then you are one of the elder.
This year now, we don't read the year, so that's why we can do this year.
Historically, joining the
This is Aqua Game, a popular game in Africa played by our ancestors to entertain themselves after each day of farming. Very interesting, as every seed had a role in the game. Playtime is 45 minutes per set. There is no age limit as long as you can spin Aqua Seed. Ayo or Aqua Game, known as the game of intellectual. This game requires a lot of mathematical skills. Aqua Game is played with carved wooden box containing 12 holes.
ITV, certainly the best.
Welcome to Viewpoints on ITV. I am Caroline Okonji. And today on Viewpoint, we're going to be talking about the current electricity issues and situations that we as business owners, as individuals, are facing in Nigeria, as over 80% of households lack adequate access to grid, as Nigeria's electricity sector suffers from chronic liquidity trap and infrastructural decay, leading to frequent national grid collapses, with generation dropping below 4,200 megawatts, far short of the 4,000 megawatts required for its citizens and population. It is a Viewpoint on ITV, and we're going to be looking at some of the key issues affecting our electricity sector in Nigeria. I am Caroline Okonji.
In terms of security of it, we need light. And based on that, in some areas, it makes it difficult for us when we are on patrol at night. And we are even begging the state government to try and do something, at least by supplying street lights in some area that are dark in the night. In most cases in our community, there are places that is very dangerous, that without light we cannot do anything of such. For so doing, we want, as a matter of urgency, the Edo State government to try and do the needful, so that the security will be okay for us, so that we can be able to work effectively.
The issue of NEPA issue that you came from is very relevant to us, in the sense that the NEPA look as if we are not a citizen of Nigeria, because since a month there's no light in us. We have been passing through. Which NEPA, anytime they came, a minute or 30 minutes to, they will come and bring the light to us. That is, we are not expecting them to come and collect their bill. Indirectly, we are expecting bill from them to come and collect. Within that hour or 2 hours, you will see a number of people with a ladder. They will come. They will come. And after their collection, there's nothing like light again. They will block us up. I think before we have this light, they mandated us to buy a meter, which we bought. Individual. We pay through the NDC, we have our transformer here, not through NEPA. Before we got out this light, they mandated us to write an application of submitting it to the NEPA as a will to them. And we work for it. And we should not claim ownership. And we fought for the transformer. And after that, again, they came that there is no oil in it. We pay up to 1 point something a day. Before, after all that, they came up again, said it was meter issue again, that every community, every houses have to have a meter, which we did. We have to. I have my own receipt. I have my paper meter in my residential house. So after all that again, they came up with a past bill. We made that transformer, bought that transformer, we've been glass out for 10 years here. They came with a bill to us again that we need to pay a standing bill. We went to Tesame, the office there. After we left the one at the bypass, they were delivering us before they now refer us to the one at bypass. I don't want to mention name of the manager there. Got in there again, he said we have to go for all those things. We need to fulfill all those things which we did. After that, they now on the light for us. As they on the light, not up to a month, we are still in blackout again. So at the end of it, we went again. They said it was according to them, that the electric wiring merge. That was because that they now cut us off again from Iyowa again, which we not pick. We that matter again. The Chiri community, which is the Kabetu, Igbo and Igwe. After that, they brought a light for a week again. After a week, they cut us off again. They said Iyowa is owing. We now went to the office again and told them that if Iyowa is owing, does that mean it affects our community? We are blackout throughout all this. So before we sort all those things out, we have already made up our mind. We can do away with our neighbor. When our father was living with a lamp and all these things, we were enjoying it. We cannot be paying for what we are not using. We cannot be paying for what we are not using. So if they feel they want to cut us off from this NEPA issue, they should cut everybody off totally, so that we will know that we are not with NEPA. Not that after 3 weeks, they will not bring a light under 2 hours or 3 hours. They will come and collect their money. It's unfair to the masses.
The electricity issues and challenges that BEDC in the state is devastating, in the sense that as a minister, I suffer a lot in terms of electricity. As an individual, not only me, the entire people of Edo State, and not only in Edo State, Nigeria as a whole, we are really facing electricity challenge in the country, in the sense that we are not getting constant light. Even though the tariff of electricity is high, people don't even get the light. I don't know how the government will enhance constant light for the Nigerian people, especially in Edo State here. We are seeing the government are not taking a proactive step towards this direction. But if the government will be able to ensure that people are paying for electricity and they are not getting electricity, government should take a drastic step in this direction by making sure if people have constant light, people will want to pay for it. But a situation where you don't see light, at the end of the month you see BEDC personnel coming to people's house to come to cut lights, is really a problem. My major concern is that let them provide us electricity and people will pay for it. But a situation whereby we don't have constant light, out of 24 hours, people cannot boast of 3 hours light in a day. It's a problem that we are really facing. People who are doing business cannot do business effectively. People who are doing business, they want to make sure their foodstuff does not get spoiled. Nobody can preserve their food again. Even though they cook, you cannot preserve it. Even though electricity for our artisans to work, they cannot get electricity to empower their equipment in order to boost productivity for the entire society. It is really a problem. The state of electricity in our country, in our state, is very poor. Very, very poor. We don't know how government is creating effectiveness on this aspect. We say Nigeria is generating electricity and the neighboring are getting electricity, and the people that are in this country are not benefiting it. Nigerians, we are crying. As a person, I am crying. We don't say as an individual we don't want to pay for electricity. We are not saying that they should give us light for free, but let them make light available and let people pay for it.
They often tell us the national grid is collapsed. So ultimately it's to develop enough capacity, the whole process of generation, distribution and the rest of it. And then the enabling law, the happy thing recently is that they have said is deregulated. You know, state governments and private investors can now enter the electricity market, generate and sell. So we do hope that will be a great deal of improvement, because without electricity, really, we are going to remain in the Stone Age. You know, we cannot industrialize. Even domestically, we cannot have the comfort we should derive from electricity. You know, we should consider all the options, whether the new sources like wind, solar in our country, so that we're able to generate enough for our consumption. The darkness is a cover for any kind of nefarious activity. Yeah, so if the place is not well lit or substantially lit up, people can ordinarily hide under the cover of darkness to perpetrate just anything, not just robbery, kidnapping, and whatever you have. Yeah. Don't also forget that we now have private investors. The government doesn't have so much to do with electricity anymore, apart from regulation. So they also have to maximize their profit. So it may have been a mistake in the first instance, divesting from electricity at the level of government.
Let me talk about the state where I live, where I reside. The total blackout is nothing to write up about. We really suffer when it comes to light. Edo is suffering. I think our governor is trying to, well, you have to do more. Our Excellency, Senator Monde, well, our governor of Edo, Executive Governor, you have to do more when it comes to that light issue. We are suffering. There are some of us who can provide electricity for ourselves, solar and all that. Maybe a generator, this was the case, maybe, but not everybody. And so at this junction, I think it is expedient that our governor looks straight into this issue and solve this problem. What would I call it? I don't know the right English to use. The right English right now, we have serious problem when it comes to light. Businesses are going down. Those selling drinks, those who have koro, without generator, you can't do anything. And the J is on the high side. Those small jewelry, those are better passing. Our neighbor used to buy them 30,000, 10,000. Now you can't buy it. Then the other one is the Tiger and the LMX, 1 point something for ordinary generator. So it doesn't make any sense at all. So begging on our executive governor, the governor that knows what to do, to please to look into us and save us from darkness. Then when it comes to these funny BDC people, we're raising a child that came from the US and the others. The first thing they learned in children brought from abroad, the NEPA don't bring light. Can you imagine such? And so these funny people, 2 days, they'll bring the light on and off for 2 days. The next thing they'll come with their estimated billing. They start dragging people, wires and all that. It's high time. I think it's high time we stand our ground and let them know that we're not fools. We are Nigerians. We all own this nation. It belongs to nobody. It belongs to nobody and it's for everybody. We should stand our ground and fight for our rights. This BDC, but may they pack, may they go. NEPA still better pass. You can't go out at night when there is no light. The security issue. Is what the government is trying. I cannot chrome them in one day, but we individual too. Like the police used to say, see something, say something. But sometimes when you say something, they use you as a bait. And so we need to. Edo State government need to give us security as well. Nightlife in Benin is almost gone. But I also want to say kudos to our governor. For the first time, it was December free of bloodshed. It was wonderful. December, look, we have most of our people in Nigeria right now, those living in diaspora, those living abroad. Many of them came December and this January. And, they came and they're enjoying it. So I believe our excellent governor, our excellency can do more about that to give us more security. Like those travel. If you're traveling from Benin to Akure, Benin to Ifon, those roads are no-go area at night. You can't date. So I believe with all hands on deck and our governor and the police, our CP, let's hope and pray for our action governor to do something about insecurity.
ADDC, since they came in, I don't think they have done well by my own assessment. And You know, darkness is synonymous with demonic things. And they have flown their city into darkness, Benin City, and Edo State, as it were, is in darkness. And I think that the government should step into the matter to do something about the situation. Because the way I look at it is that, for me, I think it is deliberate. Because there are some areas that have light. They call it dedicated light. So why can't everybody have the same light? Because there are areas for 2 weeks no light, for 1 month no light. Some people have 3 hours a day. Some people have 1 hour. About the management of light, and that's why we are where we are. It has really hampered nightlife. About the management of light, and that's why we are where we are. It has really hampered nightlife because you don't work in darkness. And the only thing that is helping us now is this solar that people put everywhere. And some persons that have money to buy diesel and buy fuel. It's not everybody that have that kind of money. So it has really disturbed or hampered nightlife, but government is trying to bring it back by putting street light and everything. So we commend them. We pray that God will give government more power, more strength, more wisdom to do what they have to do. And the individuals are also trying by helping to lighten up everywhere. So we praise them. But for BEDC, I think they should go. We need better people.
The situation of electricity in Benin here now, I will give them at least 30%. They don't even up to 50% from the area. But I wish the government can improve, because if you see what they happen to us now, we all they use our hand to define electricity. Some of us will go generator for us, some of us will get solar, some of us will go generate big blister. You know, all these people will get like hotel. So I wish the government they really improve for electricity. All those generators will become condemned for our hand. You understand? So people no go dey go for it. And money now they need to input, because that energy, that light will really linger. If light dey for this, imagine if you come for here for Shilok Road now, government already put light, but in the evening everywhere go be dark. So where there is light, everything, even the security aspect of itself, wetin anything concerning light is too plenty. No be one particular thing. So we need light. If I come out for office now, if light no dey, we must buy generator. At least from office I dey buy at least, if I'm not mistaken, 5,000 every day for sure. Imagine na times 1 month, na big money. And na money. From there I will come see look at this, we come here say we come dey go for solar. Make we use solar take stabilize am, because solar dey give us more, make savings from the fuel aspect of it. So if you get light, nothing like light, your light can carry AC, can carry everything for us. And to the noise, no go even give you that noise issue. So we prefer light more than any other thing.
The light is our problem. We are suffering for light. You can see our business without light, we cannot improve. We need light. The show of light is because it's very, very, very low. I don't know.
In Benin City or in Edo State, some they will give the positive nod that they are faring well with the supply of electricity, but with some become so epileptic of recent. Me personally, I have discovered that we are not paying for what we get, or we don't get what we pay for. The reason being that the regulatory body that's supposed to task the BEDC are not doing enough to satisfy a customer by way of ensuring that you get what you pay for. For those that you get what you pay for. For those who are using prepaid meter, reports that suggest that even the prepaid meter is even overbilling or overcharging consumers. As against what the government is telling us. Only recently we discovered that the BEDC keep complaining that the generation company is not supplying them what they ought to get, which will in turn affect the consumer. And even at a point, they also raise the issue of federal government owing them. But just recently, the federal government has paid a huge sum of money to liquidate what they are owing this distribution company. The experience of consumer in terms of the electricity supply, it is so appalling.
they will either give you excuse of faulty transformer, which they left for the consumer to contribute money to fix, whereas it is supposed to be the onus of BDC to fix the transformer so that they can in turn supply electricity to the consumer who pay for that service. It's like you are buying a recharge card. I am not sure that the recharge card you buy is what they give you. It varies from quarter to quarter. It varies from consumer to consumer. For example, complaints, nobody to complain to. So that makes it very, very heartbreaking. So for me, I believe the federal government and indeed the lawmaker, the National Assembly, should set up a body where consumer can run to.
First means of livelihood, especially for business owners in the country. It is Viewpoints on ITV. I am Caroline Okunji.
ITV, certainly the best.
groundnut oil here in the market. It is no longer news that the price of palm oil and groundnut oil here in the market. It is no longer news that the increase in fuel prices has affected sales, as traders are now lamenting over the increase in transportation due to fuel prices. So we are currently in the market to get to know the current price of palm oil and groundnut oil, if it has reduced or it is still on the high side. I am Stephanie Notoriwa.
In recent times, the rising cost of living in Nigeria has taken a new turn, with the prices of essential food items continuing to increase across market. Among the most affected are two everyday good cooking staples, palm oil and groundnut oil. Once considered affordable and easily accessible, these products are now becoming increasingly expensive, placing a growing burden on both traders and consumers. On this edition of Market Survey, we'll take you around the market to get to know the current price of palm oil and groundnut oil. But before we go into the market, and can be quite heavy. After harvesting, the palm fruit bunches are gathered and transported to processing sites. In many rural areas, this transportation is done using motorcycles, wheelbarrows, or small vehicles. With the increase in fuel prices, moving this fruit from the farm to the processing point has become more expensive. At the processing site, the first step is sterilization. The palm fruit are boiled in large drums or metal containers. These help to soften the fruit and make it easier to separate them from the bunch. It also helps to reduce the risk of spoilage. Once boiled, the fruit are removed and allowed to cool slightly. They are then stripped from the bunches, either manually or using simple tool. This stage requires time and effort, especially when done in large quantities. The next comes the pounding or digestion stage. The softened fruit are pounded using mortars and pestles or processed using mechanical digesters where available. These steps help to break down the fruit plump and release the oil. After pounding, the mixture is transferred for pressing. In traditional settings, this is done manually where the pump is used to extract the oil. In more modern setup, manual machines are used to press out the oil more efficiently. The extracted oil is then mixed with water and heated again. This allows the oil to separate from impurities and water. The oil, being lighter, rises to the top and is carefully scooped out. Finally, the oil is fitted and stored in containers such as keg or drums, ready for transportation to the market. Each of these stages, from harvesting to processing and transportation, requires labor, time, and energy, all of which are affected by rising fuel costs. Groundnut oil production also begins at the farm, where groundnut are cultivated and harvested. Once the groundnut are ready, they are uprooted from the soil and left to dry. Drying is an important step as it reduces moisture and makes the nut easier to store and process. After drying, the groundnut are shared to remove the outer covering. This can be done manually or with the help of machines. The shell nuts are then cleaned to remove dirt, stones, and other unwanted materials. The next stage is roasting. The groundnut are roasted to enhance oil extraction and improve the flavor of the oil. This process requires heat, often generated using firewood, charcoal, or fuel-powered equipment. After roasting, the nuts are ground into a paste using grinding machine. This paste contains both oil and solid particles. The paste is then subjected to pressing. In local setting, manual pressing may be used, while larger producers using mechanical presses to extract the oil. This stage separates the oil from the solid residue, often called cake. The extracted oil is not yet ready for consumption. It undergoes filtration to remove impurities. In some cases, it is further refined to improve its color, taste, and shelf life. Finally, the clean oil is packaged into bottles, keg, or containers and transported to market for sales. Just like palm oil, every stage of groundnut oil production depends on transportation, energy, and labor. From moving a harvested nut to processing centers, the operating machines, and distributing the final product, the cost of fuel plays a major role. Today, producers and traders say the cost of processing this oil has increased drastically, from moving raw materials from farm to processing site to transporting finished product to the market. Every stage now requires more money than before. In many markets, traders explain that the price of a keg or bottle of palm oil has risen sharply within a short period. The same can be said for groundnut oil, which is gradually becoming a luxury from some households. For consumers, the effect is immediate and personal. Families are now buying in smaller quantity or seek cheaper alternative. Food vendors and restaurant owners are now adjusting their prices as the cost of cooking oil continue to rise. But beyond the market stall and kitchen tables lies a deeper story, one that connects production, transportation, and economic realities. The increase in fuel prices has created a chain reaction affecting not just how goods are moved, but how they are produced and sold. On this edition of Market Survey, we take a closer look at the rising cost of palm oil and groundnut oil, exploring their journey from production to the market and examining how these changes are affecting traders, producers, and customers alike.
A groundnut oil gallon is 35,000. Then we sell per bottle 2,000, 19.
That's what they carried before.
No, inside last year it was around 20 something, but later it increased. But now it's not 35.
What about red oil?
45.
How much did they carry before?
Last year it was around 50 something. Later it now dropped to 45.
So now the thing they don't come down with the hard price.
It has come down. Yeah, it has come down. Unlike before, it has come down.
So how much they measure the smallest bottle?
300.
For which one?
Chelsea bottle.
For groundnut oil or oil?
The same price.
Okay, 2 of them be 300.
300, 500. We have measurement of 500. We have measurement of 300.
Okay. So now this palm oil not be the season with this, so?
It is the season now. This is the season of palm oil. I strongly believe that it's the season, but I don't know. I don't know why the price is so high.
So you feel saying that the cost of fuel and transportation that make it high like that?
My sister, no. Maybe go out to Tinubu. Now Tinubu that get that question to answer. Maybe we'll go draw Tinubu from the seat. He should come and give us the answer.
But if you say like in any moment from now, maybe like next month, 2 months time, it will come down the price.
Hopefully now.
How much now they say groundnut oil now?
Groundnut oil is now 1.8 for can. And the medium size 800.
How much affected the sell before?
Before now, the thing they come up like they rise, they come down, so it depends. Like when we buy last now 1,000, but now it still come down small, so it not get stable price.
Okay, but now for market it don't cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap now.
What about red?
1.8. Before now 2,000, come down small.
So the groundnut how much until they carry on for jerry can?
Depends. 40. Now 38. 38. So
compared to until they carry on before, it don't reduce.
And come down small.
So if I want measure for Chelsea bottle now, like how much?
600, 500.
So groundnut oil and I not get different type of groundnut oil. We say okay, this one no they sleep, this one they sleep.
Yes, it did.
So the one where they sleep, the price is different from the one where they sleep.
Yes.
So how much until they sell them?
The one when they sleep, they more cheaper than the one when they sleep. Yes.
So for red oil, no different price, different type now, just one.
Yes.
Groundnut oil and red oil before market, their price don't come down.
It really come down. True to not say me they not talking. It come down. Oil come down, groundnut oil come down. Garri come down, but now only last market now Garri go up. Rice come down. Things come down. That it try pass about 2 years back. Till last year to this year now, they really try. Things come down. But now money not there. market not dey. The market since now, no market be like say na street market. People not dey buy. They say money not dey, but something cheap. So now we dey.
So how much now they sell groundnut oil now the bottle?
The bottle now we dey sell 1817. The true price be that. Oh yeah, we dey sell 15, 14, 13. Depends as the customer still buy them. He really try groundnut oil come down. So many things he come down, he try. The government really try for this one, but na money na not dey. People not dey market at all.
How groundnut oil market now they don't come down? The price don't come down?
Never come down. The market they wave up and down because of the fuel. And they say transport where they take around coin too much. Now I mean the thing where they battle.
How much now they sell groundnut oil and oil for bottle?
Like bottle now for groundnut oil, they sell for 18. Oil they sell for 13.
So that be the last price?
Yes, yes. They're not the less.
So how much did they carry the oil for gallon before and now?
When I buy last, I buy 48. No. They put 500 on top. They say because of transport for fuel.
For red oil, be groundnut oil.
Red oil. Groundnut oil, we buy that one with gallon 37.5. Now.
How much na pete carry am before?
As we say, if rain they fall, anything they dear. Would they buy like 50, 55? Now they never start now. And would they buy for that price?
So they say groundnut oil na two type. The one where they sleep and the one where not they sleep.
It's now.
So both of them are the same money that they buy am.
A different price. Like the one where not they sleep, would they sell that one for 2.5? This one where they sleep, so they sell that for 1.8. But they see the price, oh, the money not they correct.
So how much na cut they measure for Chelsea bottle?
Like Chelsea now, they sell Chelsea groundnut oil 500, oil 400.
Last price for that one?
That be the last price.
So but if you see as the price there like this, if it still come down?
With the one me come down, with the pray me come down. I bet when I help us talk to them, me come down. Then they say fuel, and that fuel be the tea, oh, that fuel that they talk of. That be the tea.
Tomatoes so they buy 25,000, 20,000. Now they buy 40. They see this one for years, so 40,000. You see and say all of them don't met. The country don't tire us. So Tinubu rescue us. So the country they give us that time at all. You see everywhere now, no customer, everywhere quiet. It's not supposed to be so. Before, by this kind of time, without they say. See now, no customer, everywhere silent. Money not there the country.
And you dey buy oil, abi? Compared to how you say they buy before and now, it don't come down.
It never come down. It's still the evil high. The over highness is too much. You see people see the price down. They see the price down. They know they feel buying. That oil where they there now don't reach 1 week for them. We never say. We there as we there. The country know they treat us well. May they reduce fuel.
If they say may they reduce fuel, like how much you say may they reduce the fuel to?
I don't understand. May they reduce fuel. Would they suffer? Nothing. I don't tire. No fuel, no light, nothing. All these city must will not get light. Solar now what people they use now, they have to bear now, it too cost.
Is becoming more demanding. What was once a manageable cycle of harvesting and processing is now more expensive and less predictable. Many are forced to spend more just to maintain the same level of production. Traders, too, are facing difficult realities with higher purchases cost. They must decide whether to increase price or risk running at a loss. In many cases, the decision to raise price is unavoidable. The story of palm oil and groundnut oil is in many ways a reflection of a broader economic situation where rising costs continue to shape how people live, work, and survive. Yet, despite these challenges, Nigeria continue to show resilience, finding ways to adjust, to cope, and to move forward in face of uncertainty. As conversation around solutions continue, many hope for policies and intervention that will ease production costs, stabilize price, and make essential goods more affordable once again. Until then, the market remained a clear mirror of these times, telling story not just of trade, but of endurance, struggle, and survivor.
We've come to the end of today's edition on Market Survey, and we've gotten to know the current price of palm oil and groundnut oil here in the market. So like I said before, it is no longer news that the fuel increase has affected trades. Now, traders are lamenting over the increase in transportation as it has affected the current price of palm oil and groundnut oil. And that's it on today's edition of Market Survey. I am Stephanie Notoriua. Thank you so much for staying tuned.
ITV, certainly the best.
Good afternoon and welcome to another exciting edition of Itches and Voices here on ITV. It's a very bright and beautiful afternoon, and I hope it's going very well for you and listeners on the radio. My name is Rebecca Mamedu and I'm your host for today, and this is Itches and Voices, a program brought to you by NAVID, the Network for the Advancement of People with Visible Disability, a non-governmental organization that advocates for the rights of persons living with disabilities here in Edo State. And today we'll be continuing on the discussion we'll be having for a couple of weeks now, the issue of the fuel hike and how it affects persons living with disabilities. We've had various persons from different clusters of the disability community, from physical impairment, hearing impairment, and visual impairment. And today our guest with us is Mrs. Chinyere Aokai. She's an entrepreneur and a person with hearing impairment. And our sign language interpreter for today is Mrs. Constance, as she'll be doing justice to our hearing impaired community. So welcome, Mrs. Chinyere. Nice to have you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're going right into the conversation, but first tell us who you are, introduce yourself to us, and tell us what you do.
Okay. Good afternoon to everyone, my viewers as well. My name again is Mrs. Ahonkai Chinyere. I am a deaf, as you can see, a deaf lady, and also a businesswoman. I am into sales of different things. I sell, I have a provision store, where I sell things there. And number two, a drop shipper. I sell online. A drop shipper. I sell online. I deliver to them as well. I have customers across the states.
Wow.
So that is what I do.
Wow, that's very beautiful to hear, that you're versatile in your skill and what you sell. That's very beautiful. But then can you tell us what your day-to-day activity is like as a person with hearing impairment? That's for you personally and for your business. What is your day-to-day like with your disability?
Well, thank you for that question. Truly, when I started business, it wasn't really easy as a person with disability. Number one issue I keep having is communication with customers. Most times when my customer contacts me, they want to call me. With well, that happens. Most of few challenges that I face as being a deaf person is that, first of all, you know that being deaf is not a visible disability. Yes. It is hidden. I have to tell people that I'm deaf. So people do not react to me at first until maybe they are trying to, and then I have to introduce myself that I'm a deaf person. So do gesture signs to help people communicate with me better.
Okay, that's nice. So now let's move to transportation, which is the main topic of today. How is transportation like, outside from now that there is a fuel hike? Before now, what's the transportation like, moving around, communicating with bus drivers, communicating with cabs to know where you're going to and to be able to explain it better to them? What is it usually like? What's the experience usually like?
Well, most times, different drivers have different type of attitude. We know that. So that is one major challenge that we have. First of all, sometimes I can tell a driver, and like where I live now, I will tell them I'm going to Jesus Christ, and then the place is called Jesus Christ. So maybe I will tell them, okay, I will describe and tell them like this, and some will listen. Then I will ask how much. Some will answer. Then not all of them are patient Some drivers are patient enough to listen, while some of them just see us talking, they just start laughing and making jest of me. I've experienced that as well. And immediately I felt so bad to be mocked. But I would just keep quiet and then try to manage with them, while some of them would just not stop at all. Other drivers, some of them will come, they will just insult me, tell me waka, and so that also makes me feel very, very bad. It's not easy for us. This one now is not about the hike, it's just about our daily struggles with entering a bus. Sometimes the driver may not understand me, and then I'll just keep quiet. So I'll start asking the passengers inside the bus to get clarity on exactly where they will stop and where I'm going to. Sometimes the person will have to ask me, then I will type for that person, then the person will have to explain to the driver, because the driver is not patient enough for me to explain to them. So that's what happened. So there are different kind of drivers, and what we face differs depending on the driver that we meet that day.
Before she said that she types on her phone for people, I was about to ask what about the option of writing, if she uses that to communicate with drivers. But I was saying using her phone, it's very, very important. That is showing how much technology.
Yeah, she says sometimes I have to use a pen and a paper or using my phone.
Yeah, it shows how technology and writing can help in cases like this. So that's good. Now let's move to the fuel hike. Still continuing on transportation. How has the fuel hike now affected transportation? Is it the same as before? And how do you know, like, how do you get the communication that the fuel prices has increased and it has affected transportations? Because the guest we had earlier on this edition was talking about how most hearing impaired people might not know that the price has been increased. They come to the park with the same amount only to be told that price has increased. Now people might think they just want
aware, they will not listen, they will continue to make trouble and say, no, you are lying, this is not the money. So it has really affected me and some other person. That is one major area where deaf face challenge. Sometimes some deaf, they understand, maybe they have the money. As soon as they just talk, and the drivers, they cheat us too. Because
if it's relating to the point you just mentioned of sometimes being cheated by drivers, or sometimes because of the lack of straight communication, because I'm trying to understand how, if I'm not getting a clear communication, I might be misunderstood and pictured as a angry person. So I want her to throw more light on that stereotype and to know what she has to say about it.
Okay, first of all, they talk about deaf being angry unnecessarily is not true. But when you see a deaf person being angry, there is a reason why that person is angry. Sometimes, okay, let's in this area of transportation now, we notice when they are making jest of us, or where they are trying to cheat us, or when we think they are trying to cheat us, that can make us angry. And when you're trying to communicate, and the person is not communicating properly, and also a deaf person may not want to be angry, but was angry generally. So because we want to be respected, because we also have self-pride.
So that is just a stereotype. It is not true.
He said it's not true, it's not true. It depends on the situation. It is what is being communicated that we will react to. We don't just get angry for no reason.
So I'm glad that our viewers at home and our listeners are hearing this to know that that is just a stereotype and it is not true. So now moving to your business, how has the fuel hike?
Tell them that fuel has now increased, maybe the cost of food has increased and all that. Tell them that fuel has now increased, maybe the cost of food has increased and all that. So that's how she and other deaf get information.
And we know in Nigeria.
So that's how she and other deaf get information.
And we know in Nigeria, once there's...
So it's the same price we buy things in the market.
Okay, so now let us move to our business. How has the fuel...
No, it's not the same. As soon as fuel increased, the cost of things immediately went up. Because when fuel is increased, and then like me that is selling now, I don't increase my own, I run at a loss. So and those who are also selling to me has also increased their own too. So in business, you cannot no, you have to make profit. That's the reason why you are doing business in the first place. So the hike in fuel has affected the cost of my buying things and also my selling things as well.
So how, the fact that she said she has increased her price, how has it affected her customers? Is it affecting the customers' response, or people are open to it because it's like a general thing?
He said the cost has really affected my business. True, people do not buy as they used to buy again. Though I have to explain to them that it has been increased, but people are not buying like before again. Like my online business now has really been affected. Why will I pay that amount? And that is what they charge me for bringing it. So that has really affected my online business as well. For example, my business, I posted a fan, 10,000 naira. A customer bought that fan, only fan now. And then Weibi to Benin. From Port Harcourt, let's say from Benin to Port Harcourt, the person will tell me to pay 8,000 naira to send it.
That's close to the main amount.
So that has really affected my customers. They will not buy from me. So because it's too expensive, I didn't buy much. I bought only one thing, and now you're telling me to pay almost the same amount. So they will leave my product and will not buy from me.
Wow. So how much?
So it has affected my business seriously. That's one challenge I'm facing right now.
So how is she coping with this? With like, what's like the aftermath? I really want to understand. How is she coping with this currently?
True. My business is really going down. But
Some of our guests ever since. Do you think that decisions and policies that are being made for our economy, do you think that persons with disabilities are in the center of it? Do you think persons with disabilities are being considered when these decisions are made?
Said no, government will not consider at all.
Why would she say so?
They do not consider people with disability before making decisions and laws. They just announce without actually putting into consideration the kind of challenges that those persons will feel. Mostly, the government is not even aware of our challenges because persons with disability, our community is actually small, not a majority. So because of that, we are not being considered. We're not putting first into consideration. So that is what we go through.
Would she say that it's like they are not always being put in consideration, or it's like once in a while situation?
Well, I've never really seen any decision that they made that actually positively affected me in a general saying, okay? So if I want to say, okay, sometimes, but seriously, I've not seen.
Okay, I'm trying to look at maybe on education level, some of the educational policies being made, and in finance too, which is our economy.
He said it's a very tiny percent in it because it does not really talk about our need. So it actually affects us.
Okay, so now let's divert a little bit. Can she help us like highlight some of the challenges that persons with disabilities face? So let's put it out there, since one of the issues is awareness. So the government might not actually know what the challenges that persons with disabilities are facing. Can she help us highlight some of them? Maybe bringing more specifically to people with hearing impairment.
Okay, number one challenge is employment. Then this transportation is 2. School, education, access to education, interpreter, sign language interpreter is 4. Health care is 5. healthcare facilities. So these now are the major challenges that they face. Do you want me to explain?
Yes, I think you should throw more light on it.
Okay, thank you. Number one, let's talk about the area of transportation. Truly, because persons with disabilities or deaf persons, okay, let me even generalize now. Let's say someone using a wheelchair. For example, person using a wheelchair has to enter a bus and has an aid. So the person is paying for 2 seats already.
Yes.
That's now, that's going to affect the money. It's not as if there's anywhere money is coming from. So most deaf persons do not have, or most people with disability do not have enough already, because being someone with disability is already expensive. So how will he pay for those 2 seats now? Now, the same happens to the blind. They don't walk alone. They may have to walk with an aid. So how would they cope with that? A deaf person has to go with an interpreter. He has to fund the interpreter's transportation as well as his or her own as well. So they are now going to pay for that too as well. So you see how they are spending more. So because of the hike in fuel, it's now difficult for a person with disability to just move around freely and just say, let me go anywhere. Secondly, I talked about healthcare. Mostly, you see healthcare, poor communication is a major problem. There is no sign language interpreter in our healthcare facilities. It has affected us badly. Most times, when a woman is pregnant, she goes there, she doesn't understand anything they talk during their lectures, or when antenatal, they tell them, don't eat this, don't do that. They are not privy to that information. That is why most deaf persons do not know anything. They don't know how to take care of their health. They don't know how to take care of their babies when they are pregnant. Some of them, they lose their babies, and some of them die during childbirth.
Wow.
This is what we are facing right now.
Well, that's a lot, and thank you very much for taking your time to explain all of that.
So many things, but this is the little I can say now.
Yes. From all the things that she has said, we took that interpreter. That's like one major thing, having an interpreter in different sectors in our society, from healthcare to schools. It helps bring proper communication, which in a larger extent will even save lives, even for persons with disability.
To mock us and how to be patient and communicate with us as well.
Wow, thank you very much. From what we just said, we've heard that communication is very important. That's why an organization like NABID is creating awareness for persons with disabilities, the challenges they face, and how everything can be made better for them. It has been a very exciting edition in the studio today, and I'm sure our viewers at home enjoyed and learned a lot, and also our listeners on the radio. Remember, this is Itches and Voices coming to you from NABID, and we say spot a itch and be a voice. See you next week Friday. Thank you.
ITV, certainly the best.
Of the initiates was the eldest son of the Esama of Benin and former governor of Edo State, Chief Lucky Nosakare Igbenedion. 11 of his siblings, namely Bright Ayamekwe Igbenedion, Honorable Charles Osemwige Igbenedion, Peter Osawari Igbenedion, Dr. Fred Osamui Igbenedion, Barrister Mike Osarene Igbenedion, Efosa Douglas Igbenedion, Upuma Ernest.
Oh, so.
It was a vital aspect of Okada community's cultural heritage, which emphasized the significance of age, responsibility, and community service. Over 50 notable sons of Okada were also initiated. According to tradition and customs, those initiated, dressed in white traditional attire, were made to undergo some rituals. The Odionwe pronounces blessings on them and assisted them to take a seat with the elders.
Welcome to the program Youth Perspective on Independent Television. I'm your host, Joy Obaisiagbon, and you know how we do it here. We talk about societal matters from the youth perspective. Today is no different. Today we're looking at love and dating in the modern era. Actually, submission.
I would be a liar if I say that there is no no difference between what we used to know or what our parents knew and what we face now. Obviously, there is a big difference in the fact that we even have to speak about it in a show is a proof that there is a difference.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Because I don't think it was a topic before, in the time of our parents. I don't think they sat down to, have this kind of conversations. I know it tells that certain things have, changed over time, or certain things have been revolted against, as against the way it used to be. So personally, for the question, I think that there is a difference from what used to be and what is now.
Okay, for you, what is submission? What does submission mean to you?
For me, well, I would say, first of all, if I'm going to speak from the normal English explanation of submission.
Of course, English.
it's like delegating your authority to someone else. Okay. We need to first emphasize the fact that probably the person has a certain authority, but he chooses not. It's a matter of choice. Chooses not to use that authority or chooses not to wield the authority and gives it to someone, to wield the authority over the person. Naturally, we would say that every man that is born has a certain freedom, as regards especially matters of choice and decision making. Your ability to not use those decisions and someone else is using it over you is actually submitting to another person's authority. So we can say submission is a matter of bending. for someone else to speak over, and then you follow. So it's like giving yourself over to leadership of another person.
So relating that to today's date, this era of dating and love, can you, relating it to that, do you think it actually influences, does it contradict to your own definition of submission, like having to give up authority? Do you think that this generation, we can actually do that?
Well, I believe that this generation, we are capable of many things.
Okay.
We are capable of doing it and capable of not doing it. Like we already established, every man is given a freedom of choice at the beginning. Personally, if it's on my own personal note or account of my own beliefs, you know, the way we were raised and all, we don't even talk about matters of submission as regards things like relationship or dating. We talk about it in matters of marriage. The way we were raised. You know, we speak about, because now, first of all, my faith speaks about wives submitting to their husbands, not wives or women submitting to men. It says their husband. It means if the title husband is not there, we shouldn't even be talking about the matter of submission. Now, basically, from the whole standpoint and view of the way, you know, things were before our time, or the way we were raised, the male figure, because when we're speaking about relationship, obviously it's between man and woman, so the male figure has a role. Every gender or every part of a relationship between the two of them have a role, characteristics, or obligations in certain homes. And one of the most paramount obligation of a male, you know, gender in a marriage is to lead.
Okay, to lead.
Yes, to lead. And we were raised, and we have seen over time that many a times how the man chooses to lead the home determines where the home goes to. So if you are not in that journey of marriage with someone that knows where he's going to, you are definitely going to crash. You know, it's just an accident waiting to happen, basically. So we know that the job of the man, according to the way we were raised, is leadership. So therefore, when he's married to a woman, the beliefs and the teachings say that the lady should allow him lead. You understand? To allow him to lead. And in so doing that, it means submitting her own authority to him to lead.
Okay, you mentioned that the paramount objective of the male gender, or rather the male character in a marriage, let's not use relationship because it has not been established that they are actually, you know, legal. So in a marriage setting, if the man's objective is to lead, according to what you said, do you think it actually affects how he regards the woman, how he respects her, or something like that?
Well, it shouldn't really affect. Now, if we are still going to follow the standpoint of where we were raised, the option is, the instruction rather, or the model is, husbands, love your wives. And that love there stands for sacrifice, basically. In fact, according to the standpoint of the belief or the model given to us, the job of the man is even more than that of the woman, according to the proper model. Now, it's you know, when you just look at things, and because of the way things have been over the years, because we found out that people, they permit me to say, people, okay. You know, people, I was raised in somewhere in the South, where the relationship between husband and wife is quite infuriating.
Okay,
you know. Okay, I was raised, like I said, somewhere in the South, I won't call the place, but okay. Being in that environment, I saw certain things, and I will give a graphic description of it. So the way I will say is that some people that are from that place, you understand that it's the place I'm talking about. You see that in the morning like this, maybe early in the morning, you see that the woman, you know, gets up, takes care of the children, you know, and by children I mean one in the hand, one on the back. Okay, so she takes care of the children, puts one in hand, puts one in back, takes the one in hand to school. Then as she's packaging them, she's taking care of her husband, and then she picks up what we call head pan. Now head pan is what we used to carry cement, for building sites. So she picks up a head pan, holds it on one hand, holds one child on one hand, puts one on the back, and then sets out for the daily bread.
Crazy.
Now she gets to the site, she walks, puts cement, they mold for her, put it upon her head, she puts it.
So what is the man in all of these?
We will get to the man, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. Then puts the child on the back on maybe the granites, just seated there, watching the mom hustle.
Yeah.
And when she's done, she makes certain, changes that they make, this daily work. So she makes changes, they put the child back on the back, picks the headpan, goes back home. On her way home, she goes to the market, use that money she just made to purchase things for the house that is going to school the next day, goes home, meets because this is where the man is now, meets the man or the husband exactly where she left him. And where is that? In the site in front of his house, or in a bar close to the house with his friends, drinking, alcohol, or what we call it kind. So drinking, smoking, and fraternizing with smaller girls in the area. And then when she comes, she submits the money.
Submit the money.
You get it now. The remaining part of the change that she has made after, the work, the market and all, and then she gives it to this man, and then in turn he uses the money to continue the same circle the next day. And then you call that also called submission. You see, these were the things that...
That is not submission.
That, you get it now. So they term it as submission. So in that kind of place, if the woman wants to revolt or something, you hear things like, "I'm not now.
That's how
He's your husband." You are supposed to. You see, these were the things that our timeline, our generation saw and said, this can't be it. This is not even the standard. This is not the model. This is not the original model that was given to us. We know that in the original model that was given to us, the man is the one that is most sacrificial to the woman. In fact, his love language is sacrifice. Her love language in turn to respond to sacrifice is submission. That means, because a man that, truthfully speaking, can die for you is worthy of your authority.
Okay.
And that's just the way it
the submission actually
is worthy of it. I don't think submission in regard, in fact, in the matters of marriage, when we talk about submission, I'm talking about things like carrying him along in decisions, making decisions, making him a primary part of your life in decision making, making him a primary, especially in decision making, in how things are run, how you run things through him. And these are things that even he in turn does with his wife, if indeed it's a home that wants to last, and function properly. So if he can sacrifice or love his wife according to the model, submission is the response to love according to the model.
Okay, I'm thinking about that model actually. Do you think it's irrelevant today?
No, I don't think it's irrelevant.
Let's talk about that. Okay, why do you think so?
Well, I believe in things that work, and over the years we have seen it work.
But you've never been married, have you?
No, I have parents that stayed together till now.
Okay.
And I saw it work.
I'm talking about this our generation with the look of things right now.
I think one of the problems with our generation is that we are influenced by so many voices.
Okay.
So many voices. Everything is teaching us. Twitter is teaching, or X rather is teaching, Instagram is teaching, TikTok is talking. There are so many. In fact, I'll give you a classical example of something that used to happen, especially amongst the female gender. A lady just wakes up, comes to her ex account and says, "Trust men at your own risk." Meanwhile, she's typing that in from her husband's house.
So many voices.
The same person that is telling you, I can never. The next day you see her throwing flower or throwing bouquet.
Yeah.
It's her wedding day. What happens to the younger persons that get to see those kind of content And because those things, whether you like it or not, your eyes and your ears are the gateways to, they are your learning gateways. So basically you hear those things and it registers in the heart of someone, and then it becomes a school, a teaching for that person over time. So much so that we begin to focus on the failing ones. If you check in our time, we always seem to put much regard to those that are failing and don't spend time checking those that are actually succeeding. We have people, fathers that are 50 years in marriage, 60 years in marriage. They are still alive. You didn't check their own model to see how it works. You went to look at a celebrity somewhere that just had like 3 years in marriage and said, men are wicked.
But why do you actually think that is? Nowadays marriages doesn't last as long as it actually does in the time past.
One thing you need to understand is that I got to learn over time that marriage is the strongest unit. The family is the strongest unit of any succeeding society. Every nation or society that would be that would shake, or that would make wave, that would be successful, it starts from the unit of the home, the family. That unit of the family. Once it can be crumbled, the society is at risk. In fact, check it, most of the people that are probably nuisances in the society, we can always do a backlog to check the home that they are coming from. It's always like that. And I would say that it is to that reason why that most people need to focus more on making their homes and marriages work. Knowing fully well that as small or as minute as it looks, it is something that is actually very tangible. First of all, for example, practical examples. Each and every one of us grew up from home, right? Yeah. A child learns his first words from home. You hear dada, mama. It's first word. It learns it from home, not from the street, not from school. I personally, when I began to start my education, I was already speaking according to my parents. I was speaking, well for a 2-year-old. I was speaking well. And so when it was time to begin, my education, I didn't need to go through the normal rigors of probably going to crèche and play, and do those kind of stuff. I just started straight from the classes that do writing. Where did I learn it from? From the home. I didn't learn it from any forward corner of any school. From the home. That's how intentional. That's how important the home is to a child. The things, I was raised in a place that is very rough, somewhere in the south, very rough. But I was not, I didn't look like the environment. I didn't look like the environment not because I was not in the environment, but because I was in a safe haven, my home.
Yeah, because of your own unit.
The unit. So no matter how chaotic the environment was, and I mean chaotic the environment was, every day is a risk in that environment. No matter how chaotic it was, those garbage end outside. They don't come in because the home, my family had found a way to shield us, the children, from the noise of outside. When you raise a child like that in an environment, you will not be afraid, to commit responsibilities into the hand of that child. Be afraid that he's going to, throw it away or make a mess of it. That's how important the home is. This is the thing that is actually at stake. It's what is at stake. And I wouldn't want to put in, the spiritual aspect and all those things into it, but that is how important the unit called family
actually
is.
We well established the fact that all these things that we see around actually influences some of the decisions, talking about having to have so many divorces around nowadays and all of that. We've seen that it's it's safe to say that it's kind of difficult right nowadays for Gen Z to submit. Probably because, like we said, the environment and all of that, what you see, you give an example of, the woman having to go work and then bringing a proceeds to the husband and all of that. So if you are to know someone navigating this path right now, having difficulty submitting in their relationship, marriage, Gen Zs, because of the environment, influence and all of that, choosing. You said many voices. A lot of persons, they chose to listen to the wrong voices. And those people that are victims of that, now they are having difficulty having to submit to, like you said, the actual model. How do you think people like that can navigate that part? I will actually be taking these questions to the street as well, to hear from our viewers, to hear from other persons, and then we'll bring it here and put them together. But before we leave, I'd like you to answer on that. How do you think they can?
Well, I would first of all say that being submissive in a relationship or being obedient, because now we're speaking about, basically, if we're speaking about submission, we're basically speaking about the female gender.
Okay.
Now, being specific in submissive rather in a relationship does not really stop a successful home building. Neither does it crash a home that is supposed to actually survive or work fine. I would say that the word submission in itself does not make you a fool, because that is what it's kind of mirrored in our time. That once people hear the word submission, they just say, "I'll not be mumu." I don't know if you get my point. That kind of like, "I'll not be mumu, man, not use my head," and all. I think we should not also be speaking. First of all, I don't think you should be in a marriage with someone you don't trust. I also don't think we should talk in submission if trust is not on the table, basically, because and this is why how you enter also matters a lot. Many a time we see in our generation that the things that both parties now, both genders, look out for in a relationship or in the marriage that they want to enter is very flawed.
Yeah, so if we're understanding you very correctly, despite the fact that there are very sad stories out there, you have to look for the boxes that were not ticked before, those boxes that were not ticked before that person actually made that decision. Why they ended up like that, why the story ended up being, not good.
So you check it.
So that you can checkmate that on your own. And then when you get into it, you don't really have to not have so many problems about it,
or having to love your partner.
Original model.
Original model. Emphasis on original model.
All right. Right now we're going to call it a break, and then we'll take this question to the street. The question is going to be showing on the screen right now. We'll take it to the street, and then we'll get answers. The question actually is, why do you think it is difficult for this generation to want to submit in relationship? Yes, and despite the fact that we know that it's obviously very difficult. So what solution can you prefer to a person that is in that situation right now, having difficulty, submitting to their partner?
Some people see submission as a GBV issue. If somebody is trying to compare them against their wish, somebody is trying to, make them lose their freedom, not knowing that is not what submission is. That is why it is very important we redefine what submission is. Submission is partnering with each other. Submission is, one person, you have to support that for the other person's opinion, for you people for the marriage or for the relationship to go well. Yes, I want, the advice I'll give to them is that they should go to the drawing board. They should go and know the real meaning of submission.
But women of these days are more educated, they are more aware, and so they're not sure. A woman can speak her opinion, can express her disagreement with a thing, so while still being submissive. What is really happening is awareness. People are not living relationships or marriages or finding it hard to submit. Rather, they are saying no to the submission that resists them, that limits them, and issues their voices. So it's just about working together. No party is greater than the other. There is no dominant, there is no submissive. You guys are both dominant and submissive. You guys can both lead and can still both be submissive. So that notion that submission is about control, it's about like one party taking control of the other, that should die. submission can work hand in hand when a couple comes together and agree.
Gen Z nowadays, they live their life on social media. Everything is about social media, and comparison is the thief of joy. So they tend to compare what they see online, how people live their life online, how celebrities, public figure do everything online. So they compare it with themselves. So that's the main reason they can never be submissive, because they feel like the new cool is being all these feminism, all these equality. So submission is not the new cool, so they won't follow it. My advice will be, don't compare. Focus on your own marriage. Focus on, no marriage is perfect, so just work on getting better. That's the only way.
It's definitely hard for them because this is a fast-paced generation. Only a few still have like the old morals, you know? Because now it's just like, well, if some even feel they don't even need to be in a marriage or a relationship, because it has to do with the fact that this generation has made the most money. I mean, just look at what these people are doing, streaming, all this stuff. So when there's money, people tend to feel like they don't need anybody. So I say it's definitely hard. So it's just the way the world evolves, the way these things get more difficult. So, and it's really, we're losing the morals on everything, and it's just, it's hard, you know. But at the end of the day, all I can say is, if they could just sit down and see, okay, my parents didn't come from this, and just try to emulate their parents, and I feel we'll all be all right.
All right, those are the amazing opinions from our guests out there. Hope you have been able to learn a thing or two. Yes, and that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you very much, David, for joining me today.
Thank you very much for inviting. It was an exciting discussion.
All right, until next week, I am your host, Joy Obaisiagbo. Bye for now.
ITV, certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
Waya Bota now. Gibo Tawese anyone. I don't look well, the no why you. Gibo Tawadina. Okay, we know we guacan. And no Gumaro Kotoradi. Neni Kao Yajima. When I had the Laguma year. Any Yama you look out where Eso or Hanwi. By our head, nega we. Of it already only one. In Maguacan, okay, Igogbe. Igogbe na. Mamia Aguaca radio television. Uye, eva so mo egbona ekenate Igogbe. Where on one of them or Tari. Mana, Mampuno Benya Igogbe. So, Pavena, we say Igogbe. Oye mu wege aya wehe no gwa gwa mena ore ma otan we Victor Ibizugbe obokin atem
do never zomu aya bitota wa gba okoton wa dan heaven na agun na no ka igi ogbe igie kenu ogbe na igie moto na laho na meke na ya wewi na he no nwe gare unyime ori mani bi edu oba atokpe
ise me so boss e je no bia o no le do ba ya ha re do ya fere le jotu wa ya iye ni ero eni e ni ka eni awuza ma ya ni oba no je do ko apolo ya jotu wa ya nda iana emana eni ka o ya kin ni ju ina yo to na te Igogbe èmi lọ kí náà wá náà yá sí ẹ̀ ìmá kòkó náà yá sí ẹgbẹ́ kòkó èyí Igogbe ìjẹ́ ọwọ́ gbẹ̀ ìjẹ́ ọ̀nà ìrìnà sóbọ̀mù ọ̀nà ìrìnà dèrò níyí èyí jẹ́ ọwọ́ gbẹ̀ ọgbẹ́ náà ẹ̀wọ̀ náà ìkẹ́wọ̀ kéni wọn Igogbe ẹni wọn Igogbe na okay do aru ege na mariye na owege serio we ari mi Igogbe so awi Igogbe mana Igogbe egbe na ete na ki ami atewi Igogbe ami atewi Igogbe saba na egbe ni pe fun oni egbe na wa boy wa Igogbe egbe ki sọba ní di ògbẹ orí máa wù ṣùgbọ́n àdọ́wọ́ ọ̀nà dọ̀lì Igogbe yìí Igogbe ọ̀kẹ́ ìwé rọ̀ ní àríwé sí ni ìwé ìmọ̀díọ̀n àyẹ̀tẹ̀ sí yẹn gẹ̀ náà dẹ́ ṣùgbọ́n àdéhùn ní Igogbe sọ̀wọ́n abọ́ ayé sí yẹn gẹ̀ náà Igogbe ọ̀kẹ́ ìwé kẹ̀ náà mú ẹ̀ ẹ̀rọ ayé ẹ̀rọ wà kẹ̀ náà mú ẹ̀ yìí Igogbe ni na mamuro ayini omodion begbeni ogba ore atewe ku ni emoyi Igogbere no nwa ya nwane otobo ipa oya mo e owo bo igbo sopa oyigari Igogbe owa ino ibana bio oyigari do agwe eti onodion iwe ibani enodion na we duiko ọwa ni mi ma dinu dena sọba jọmọ akọ mi alayoye ọha n'aka wo egbe mara ẹ ọya ka mi ọka gbẹ ọni gena tiẹ eti ọni buwa ọkọ walare ọtí ma mi yan egbe mara ẹ baya kí ẹ de akọ emu ẹsẹ owusi egbena ti hospital nẹ aya ní ẹwọn ẹ de na anaka emi nẹ tuna wege emi nọ. Bagawu ne gbenara abikin aladia ese na azone eru na anane ayiwe deno na egwali yobono we aya dukun aya we yano egbe wesi koko ya emi ladia Igogbe ke isi egbe koko o ke isi ama no kwa Igogbe ri ya ege ese ni won tare ma ge Victor Ibizugbe Igogbe ma bu aka na ni wa
Igogbe be na you kan na ike no gbe na mu igie nera isuen era mu egbo na ugbe so erari do pa o erari agwa o bi e no dion o ri odo ya mu aga ore baba ni o bi to tayo yori be no nwa ore ogbeni na ri na nia oyewe ni e mo tila e wa ni we ba bi je ni kai ai agbera wa yin ne de ku kin awo de gbe fun wa ni bo una wo awo gbe dolo yi amaka ma woni we dolo yi so pon ore no kin o to no gbe bi o wa goro awa vi okwa ugbe so e mo ri mu kin e mi no gba oyewe na mi we otuni ra egbe ni iyan riro igogbe na o magina e no oni ori etinu e nu ya se ti ka we rekeni kere gegbe ni kere mami ebe ka gwan we e go para aro na ri oba na mama we o ma ko ma no wi eri aze o ke ke no ari na ya we e ma na egbe na kere awe mo zawe ne ri ma inu ka ba na e ma ni ye o ya ire mi awe wa ya se ri ihe bi gogbe ogbe mu gogbe we hie ne de kunu kan ari igi ogbe kan si ewo koko no no si egbe ni koko aga iga koko re wa ni emi kemi aga ta eri ma we eri ma no pa we e ba na koko du e ikoni igi ogbe na ede mu fua o ma na eme igi ogbe oye o ma na eme zi oye eme kino ke zore emi e ke le na agi e igi na o se na me we da wa de egbe eya mi igegbe oyan o ba to pe
we se ya yi wada ho ni wa igegbe magun kana de kini igegbe we ye awe ogbenede ogbe no de mu dia semesi we no ta about me de ki we kere de kini igegbe we ekene igegbe me ogbe igegbe ni emi no hin báyìí ero edo ole ni ma ke imi re e ka na ebe o tagbon ero ani o na egbe ni igegbe igi o egbe igegbe ekene e ma so mana yayi egbe no oye no zaga o so ba na jegbo wa zaga
ise
owo no wi ọ̀kágbẹ́ gbẹ̀gbẹ́ ni yẹ̀rẹ̀ bò wọ́wọ́ bí yẹn yẹ̀ máa rọ́wọ́ bọ̀ ẹ́ ni ọ̀nà àrẹ kẹ̀lẹ́jọ́ yẹ̀ máa rọ́wọ́ bọ̀ ẹ́ ni ọ̀nà àrẹ kẹ̀lẹ́jọ́ gbẹ̀ yẹ yẹ̀ rí pa òrí ẹ̀wẹ̀ erí yẹn bò wá òwò ní rí yẹn bọ́ orí yẹn rè náà ìyọ́pọ̀ ìwà mú ìbáradọ́ amẹ́wẹ̀ ìjọ́gbẹ̀ àìráì ìjọgbẹ nado amiewe ekene nọnaye nọdọ bege nanaga ẹni anado miewe ìjọgbẹ naga ẹrọ abuzama niyan aga jọgbẹ wiyan abẹ enige aga jọgbọ wiyan eje sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹgbẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ náírà ara wèmí kémi ìbáraàjò àgbọ̀nyá rí ọ̀yà dùkọ̀ sábà jẹ̀mí gbégbé àgbọ̀nyá rí ọ̀yà ìjógbẹ̀wé rí ọ aládùnmíẹ́wẹ́ ọdún ṣègbórí ọpá ọmọ ìjógbọ̀ ẹ̀mù yẹn ọ̀sàrẹ́gbẹ̀ ní ọ̀rọ̀ ni ọdùnmíẹ́wẹ́ èmi rí dùnú dẹ́ èso àárọ̀ lèkèyàn rírí èèyàn sàlóbọ̀ rẹ̀ ẹ̀tẹ̀rìn ọdún sọ́ọ́sọ́ dẹ̀rọ ayé nàta ẹ̀ ìbáwọn adómiẹ́sọ wẹ àkúgbè nọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀nẹ́gbẹ́ ẹ̀yìn nù nàyàwó tẹ̀ èmi ò yànnà lọ́wọ́ àgbẹ̀ nàyàwó yòbọ̀ náà ọ̀wá àwọn èyí gbógun lámọ̀sù lọ ọmọ ìwà náà wẹ́ tó ẹ yíyá mi gbógun ẹ̀rẹ̀ nẹ́dẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n ìmọ̀sọ̀rọ̀ ìrẹ́ èsọ̀rọ̀ ìmátì ẹ̀bọ̀ wọn ẹ̀ náwó wà ọ̀ẹ̀dánẹ́ ọ̀fìlì yàkọ̀ ọwọ́ ìjọgbẹ̀ náà wọ́n máa dẹ́ máa yẹ ọwọ́ ìjọgbẹ̀ máa dẹ́ máa ọwọ́ àwọn ọ̀tẹ̀rẹ̀ kẹwàá sùn ẹ ọ̀sàbọ̀ ìjọgbẹ̀ máa yà fẹ́ ní máa jógun máa dèsì yẹn nase anima nase anano de
ihoni no tapa yeme igiogbe na e baba no mu igiogbe gbo oro ne e baba ri o baba ni no mu igiogbe gbo e boy eyan pa e ra be me mamie ye amiewe ni awo egba ire la iyan odin ore family ni igiogbe ni na sun azodi iyan odin iyan meten ni be ipia ni be nwa ìyẹn náà ló bí ẹ ìyẹn gàgà rí àwùwà omi ẹ ọkìn àyìndọ̀gá ẹ nọ́wọ́ ayé ìgbọ́gbẹ́ ni ètò ẹ̀ ní bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ní dín omi ẹ ni.
ìgbọ́gbẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ gbẹ lórí wẹ̀tà náà ọmọ àná rí ẹ inú wọn ẹ̀ gbẹ yìí ọmọ owó bọ̀ ẹ èyí ẹsẹ̀ tí a rọ ẹ̀yìn ní. ṣùgbọ́n ìbáni ayé sí ìbáni rẹ̀ wọ́n rí palọ̀panà nana dùkọ̀ awọ ìgbógbọ́nmá ìyẹn owó bọ̀ ọ́ èyí àwù rẹ̀ òbíra ẹ̀hìn nà òbíra ni ó ní ọ̀ká gbé yìí sọ ìgbé ara yà wẹ̀ ní ọ̀dọ̀ owó yíyàn ní ẹ̀yà kókò àwẹ̀ yìí.
ọkọ̀ ẹ̀ náà mi wẹ̀ èyẹ ọ̀gìdè bá ní.
èyẹ bá yà rẹ̀ yẹ ní kúrò ó kúrò ní wàdọ́mọ̀ bàbá dọ́wọ́ wà nyọ́ ìlú tó dẹ́ ẹ̀mẹ́ yẹ rẹ̀ okó màdódùkú òwú mà ìjógbé mà nà èrè àwẹ̀
ọ̀nìwé ni káàkiri ẹ̀yìn dẹ́rì.
ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ ọ ìzukú rẹ̀ òwò àzukú rẹ̀ ní oyè yìí jógbẹ̀ yà á bìkó ọ̀nà zuku rẹ̀ òkúrọ̀ lẹ́rú wà ìjógbọ̀ lẹ́rú wà lásẹ̀ àyèmí nà yẹ èyẹ ọ̀rí wẹ̀kẹ́ ìwà wò ná dọ́ àmì ẹ̀wẹ̀ èyẹ ni nọ́ọ̀málẹ̀ lónìí jógbẹ̀ yá dọ̀wọ̀n ayé ẹ̀ lónìí yá dẹ́gbẹ̀ yí ẹ̀ ọ̀mù jógbọ̀ ẹ̀mùkíẹ́ ẹ̀rẹ́ ni wàá ní ìnọ̀ká wẹ̀ obi ọwọ àwọn èèyàn náà èyí máa kí orin wa ọ̀sàrà wà yìí ta kẹ́kà wà ẹ̀mí gbogbo ẹ̀ wọ́n gẹ̀ àárí ọ̀rọ̀ sàbọ̀bọ̀ náà bí kò dọ̀ ẹ̀wà náà kọ́ àmà náà mi rà ẹ̀.
nọ́ọ̀vẹ́ lélẹ̀ dẹ́gà náà yóò mí ẹ̀wẹ̀ igi ògbẹ̀ ọ̀nà sẹ̀ igi ògbẹ̀ náà sẹ̀ gbẹ́ ọ̀sọ́bẹ̀ yẹ àdómiẹwẹ igi ògbẹ náà òwá ní ọdọgún ọwọ òwá yìí wa ìtẹ ètò wá yìí náà ẹgbẹ ní ìhànà bọsọ yìí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí anáwó ní akóbọ kòkò gbé wé náà dó kòkò bọ náà wọ́n gbé bọ náà mú jà náà gé ara gé gíní máa wẹ igi ògbẹ rí mà ẹ̀yìn náà yìí anáyè miẹwẹ èyẹ nẹ náwó sọ ìgbé ọ̀nàwó yẹn kú nẹ ìbí ìbàbà náà pa yìí làwa máa wé tí yàn á dógún yẹn dó bọ̀ ẹ̀ wá rè
ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn náà ìmá ọ̀nù sùnú yẹn náà tó máa pọ̀ ìmí ẹ̀ nẹ ọwá jógbẹ̀gbọ̀ wọ yẹn lóhun yẹn nẹ èyí má ti dìjógbẹ̀ yìí ọ̀nà wà tí kò ọ̀nà ìjógbẹ̀ wọ yẹn náà yẹn ò ní jógbẹ̀ náà ọgbọ̀
náà pè fún
ọ̀nà àdìgbò làdíà yẹn náà ọ̀nà wà bò wá ọ̀nà bọ̀yọ̀ òyìnbí àgbẹ̀ yìí nà kí wẹ́ igbó nà yà mí ò wá náà kókè yẹ azigo àárí ẹ̀ yazigo ẹ̀yàn àdó vi ẹ̀ ẹ̀wọ̀n ni mo wá ẹ̀ háyà yẹn náà fi ọ̀yọ́ igbó ni a ní ha asa àgèlè ha yìí sọpá àná yẹ sẹ ọ̀gbọ́à nẹ́gẹ́dẹ́gbẹ́ ẹ̀ ní àná dùkọ̀ onye òkùnrin kwere wa òkùnrin kwere wa sọpá òwú eré àmì nà ìwọ́n náà bí eré àmì ìwọ́n náà bí mẹ́hó nọ ọ̀sẹ̀ ha sí ní n'esunu bẹ́ẹ̀ ọ̀sunu ewéèrè ọmọ wa múdíá ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ múdíá ìyàgí bíbí wa ìyàgí zàrà ìjọgbẹ ọyẹwẹ òkùnàtúẹ ọmọ àná orí ẹdùnẹ ọ̀nà rẹ̀ ọwẹ òkùnà ẹ̀túẹ láwíyèsè lámòsùn lámògùn lábàtúẹ òkèké náà ni a o makawe kamana oye no iwe zaga ijogbe e magwa kana ni wa nda ijogbe e ma so e o sa lo ba so e ne ore bible ijogbe o so e ne awe Solomon awe ya fe ni magebe we Old Testament iye ya neme jogbe ero jogbo ri ani eyan na igboso ya ikugbe ya lehu jogbe ke si egbe koko o si ewo koko e manata na we o ma keke no ore do zaga o wa zaga eri no si o ke kabo po se ye yogi ma gbe we yogi ma e ni gbe e wa ni jogbe ere ona lepo o wa no ma e ebi ga lowo ma omi o ma tuti omi no gwezi yesi dere mi na wegbe no na yeke na ayo be ni jogbe na ro du na no ma
o se baba ma me jogbe nu yo nu kana ni ijogbe we no se wo koko ekeno na o ma gina ekeno owe nu we laladian ana you no kan we o ga re bi no hu an ibi Israel gbe ipona gbe ra yisen ene no uyeva nebe Egypt 400 years uyi eva uyo 200 so yin agbupo yin nebe Egypt so pege ni han akpa yin anavulu bolokeri yan ore yin aya ni agbare yin anawi avio na me we ebaba no nya owa ni ere uku obera yen na we gi ogbe na le gbi yen zaga kwa ona mama we be no ye na omi yen no dion ututa yo wa ni amaya nu we wo pa nu ku le ma ni ke ko awo we ga we lu yen ga we pa e mu no bo e omi yen mi wu ni yen be bi eleni lo we ze ko we do take over obe alu jogbe ni e mo ni wa omi wu ni ya te ya lu e gba ne akemi ewo vanbo rari ore eye e ne ye kwe omi wu fua we o wa ne ri e wu na ni we ne ra be na bi efu era eye ni eri abi we ado mi ewe o we ra tu we gan o re e bi no de igba gie money ya fe lu e o ke vanbo be la re ye akemi o ke wa ra ihian oni giogbe o ya to o ya pe aya mi ewe eri ke mi na wo arazi e aga ma o ga gba awe mi we egbe ni e na fi boyi be na mi hu da we akugbe oguyan wa kugbe e mi o na mi we ize o ya fu portu oba atope
ise ni wa ijogbe na mu paro ijogbe no kia oni na do azuku re no wa owe yere ba ni ijogbe ne pawe kinoye oro ikatasi benu zamani yoye awero awolia awedohen ezomo yani buwerio ijogbe orero ne nebe jamupa ekare so no ijase gbere ijogbe ni aimu epa ebi na so se no riewuku ni obi e riewuku yo riewuku ai unda osapa na jo ado bi omo ya de no ye eyin no ma negbe iyan we ado mo jogbe ki ege ki enike ya yin la dan we jogbo imaru ayo ya se court o ho ya se kinoki una agbe egwe ki are me wo wori ewuku ijogbe we rio oro supa iso ro wa pa o wa le lepa o bi se nopa o le lepa oni movable kebe immovable igogbe so pa ne na ya si egbe koko emi na ya si egbe koko emi na ya si oten koko emi na ya si na we no maye egbe igogbe kini wa inedu unda kege ade kege ogi so ade igogbe ke aro emi ma idehun we igogbe ne saga ima we le ma we yin omo no ba ne do ko apolopolo oba ewa noro na na mi we ijogbe oredo obe ayewe ebe ne egware oba ya de azaga ti we gwaba ore ma ka ki o wa gwa wa re dita muda unyeni ayawe mu jogbe po na mi wa evonta rewo jogbe kini wa odo izaga ora lowo pati do mi we edo se ti atewo pa olowo gbe ni wa ehuda ìjógbẹ́ rọ̀ àánà mú ìmàmí màìwòna ààrẹ àgbésọ́nìà àrí ègèlégélé àrí ààrẹ ẹ̀kẹ́ wọn àrí ààrẹ náà ìyá rí ẹ̀wìn máa àrí ẹ̀mí náà rẹ̀ òtẹ́ òdẹ́ ìyókòrí ọ̀hún ẹ̀wẹ̀ sówárọ̀ ẹ̀yà nílẹ̀ ìjẹta owó òbó ìyá mi máa ó tọ̀ ní ìdá ẹgbẹ́ nọ́kẹ́kẹ́ náà sí yẹn ní ìjógbẹ́ àárọ̀ ẹ̀yà lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ìjógbẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀zí ọ̀rẹ́ mi náà wọ́n dá ìjọba náà mú gbọ́ ìka náà dìkọ̀nù ìka náà tẹ̀wọ̀n mami ìka náà ròyìn náà gbá ìjọba kí ni wọ́n ìjọba mélòó sàrúbọ̀ ya ìjọba yẹ òhìn ọ̀rẹ́ dóní ẹ̀yà mú ẹgbọ́ ọ̀kẹ́ yẹ nà wá lòdì ẹ̀sẹ̀ẹ̀sì wíwọ́n tẹ̀wé tá a bá nọ̀rẹ́ báíbù ẹ̀yà rọ̀ àwẹ̀ sọlọ́mọ́ àwẹ̀ yà ẹ̀yà mẹ́ ìjọba yà ni yẹ kíá lọ́sẹ̀dẹ̀ náà náà wọ́n jọ rẹ̀ dórí àkẹ́ àwẹ̀ ìdọ̀ ni wọ́n ọtẹmẹ ẹgẹ bí gbà ní.
igi ògbẹ́ náà bí náà yà tà náà bán ìsàlẹ̀ ògbọ́n náà là ọ́ ní igi ògbẹ́.
ẹyẹ sẹ́nẹ̀.
ukwu náà wàá fi tu ẹ ní igi ògbẹ́ ní ìyàn ni ọ̀tọ̀ ìgbókùn náà. n'ọtẹ ìwúrí rẹ ọmọ yín ọdọ wa anáà ọwọ́ ẹgbẹ́dẹ ẹ̀yìn ẹ̀tọ́ ẹ̀. anáwó yàrá fámìlì ẹ̀ igi ògbẹ́ yẹn ọmọ ọzọlá nọdẹ màgàrẹ gbẹgbẹ ilé ọgbọ yẹn lè má dàtọ ẹ ìdàtọ ikú wáyà ní dàmí họ sàrẹbọ nọdẹ bá wà ikọ hà ní pẹwò sàrẹbọ àfihàn.
ọmọ níwà ẹ níwà ìjọba màgbà kan wàlá òwò etí má nọ wé mu ẹ òwúrọ̀ sí ògbẹ gbọ ọ̀nọ̀rọ̀ gbé màkà bọ́pọ̀ wà ebèrè ni màá wé gbẹ̀nẹ́ náà yẹ àrò ìjọba màá nọ wé tánà màá wé zi ògẹ ẹgbà gbàmùnọ́ba nọ́là náà tẹ̀ yọ òhìn ọ̀rẹ́ do nasun ẹ̀rọ agbẹ́ yóò tọ̀ ara agbọ́n ọ̀nà arebe ọ̀nà mọ̀ ẹ́ ayé yàrá abẹ́rẹ́ yàrá agbẹ́ yóò tọ̀ ní màsí agbọ̀n rẹ̀ yọ̀ nẹ̀ màsí lèlè rẹ̀ yọ̀ nẹ̀ náà yà gbọ̀n òhìn ọ̀rẹ́ mà nasun ẹ̀rọ agbẹ́ yóò tọ̀ wọ́n ní màá yín ìyẹn ọmọ náà báyìí náà tí kò yọ náà zè má yọ ìmọ̀ ni àṣẹ ti gbèbè ìbọ̀ ayagbọ̀n ẹ̀jọ̀ ayagbọ̀n o ayé yẹn náà mi wẹ̀ èrè yọ ọmọ adéfọ́á lẹ́nà mana wẹ̀rẹ̀ yọ wọ́n tẹ̀sí pẹ́ èyí sẹ̀nọ̀dé èyí yẹn do wà bún nẹ̀rẹ̀ wì èyí yẹn do wà bún nẹ̀rẹ̀ wì wà gàrí gbẹ́ yóò tọ̀ nọ́ọ̀rẹ̀ ilé lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ òyì ọba àtọ́pẹ́ ìṣẹ́.
ITV, certainly the best. certainly the best.
kupa kuna kapita kunwa mema. Kapita kunwa mema.
Performance is characterized by a frenetic, shaking and highly agile dance style where the dancers uses the seats to move rapidly. The dancers interact with musicians and the crowd, sometimes chasing other performances who are acting out of fear or bravado. The Tupuhuki dance, the dancers are driven by intense drumming and singing that motivated them to perform to the ultimate expected of them.
sio kudundana kumuora na yenyewe mna watu likita wako na watu wanapata na inasikakata na na kulividi tunapata kwa sababu wale kidamo
ẹwà ẹ̀dọ̀dọ̀ rẹ̀ tó ẹ̀tọ́ ní kẹrẹ̀ kú yóò gbó. Orí ọba ní ká.
ITV, certainly the best.